ओम प्रोल्लसित बालिका मौक्तिक श्रेणिका चंद्रिका मंडलोद्भासी गंडस्थल न्यस्त कस्तूरिका पत्र रेखा समुद्भूत संभ्रंत सौरभ्य भृगांगना गीत सांद्री भवन मंद्र तंत्रीश्वरे स्वरे भास्वरे देवी तुभ्यं नमो देवी तुभ्यं नमो देवी तुभ्यं नमः। The North Bengal chapter of Global Sanskrit Forum, as I understood, is going to organize its first intellectual meet, rather scholarly meet. And on the dash, if I imagine, there are many prominent thinkers and Indologists of our country, Professor Vishnupada Mahapatra, Professor Rajesh Kumarji, Professor Subhrajit Sen, and many others. Well, I am very much thankful to the organizers that they have chosen me to speak a few words on any topic. In fact, I am not with my library at present. I am away from Shantiniketan. I am in Odisha now. But anyway, I have chosen the topic that is declared Jagannath's, Panditraj Jagannath's definition of Kavya and the influence of the ideas right from Vedas to Viswanatha on this definition. That is the topic that I thought I can speak something without the aid of my valuable library. Anyway, as we all are acquainted with the definition of poetry of Viswanatha, of Panditraj Jagannath, which he presents in his Rasa Gangadhar as Ramaniyartha Pratipadaka Sabdah Kavyam. So this is the very basic definition, and he will go on it. We are not going very deeper into the things he has presented in his treatise. Rather, we are going to discover the influences of our tradition on this definition. Our tradition starts right from the Vedas. So we'll try to take some principal rhetoricians and some tricks from the Vedas to justify that Jagannath has not made this definition all on a sudden from his mind. He has accepted the influence of many, and then only he has been able to coin his definition. So first of all, let us get acquainted with, we all are acquainted already, but for my sake I'm telling, let us get acquainted with each and every word of this definition. So he is going to define kavya or poetry, and he presents three words: Ramaniyartha Pratipadaka Sabda. These are together. Such a Sabda is kavya. And he uses the word Sabda. We have to understand the reason of using this word independently, because Bhama has already said Sabdarthu Sahito Kavyam. That he doesn't say. He says that Sabdah Kavyam. And why does he use Sabda? He uses Sabda to ward off all dances, all beckonings, ingito, etc., all mudras, postures, etc., through which people try to express some meaning to the audience. Otherwise, if he doesn't use the word Sabda, then dance will also be Kavya. So in order to avoid over application, Ativyapti, he has used Sabda first. We have to see different sets of this word Sabda. Then only we can understand what exactly he wants to say. Sabda he has said, because he has already understood that Kavya is nothing but a kind of body, and the soul is inside it. The moment Vamana started thinking of the soul of poetry, Ritiratma Kavyasya, and then onwards, others also started thinking and discovering what will be the soul of poetry in their system, in their school. So he has taken the word Sabda because somebody has said that it is also Pada. Sariram Tavati Istartha Vyavachinna Padavali. So he has taken Pada, but he uses for that the word Sabda here. So influence of Dandi is very much clear here. And this is also clear. He doesn't accept that poetry is something very much tangible. It's not tangible. That is why he said that sabdah srutah arthah na avagatah, something like that he says. He differentiates and he wishes to say that the sabda is kavya and whatever inner meaning is there, that is kavyartha. That is a different thing. That may be kavyartha or soul of poetry, anything. That is another issue altogether. Therefore, the word Sabda also represents both Bhamaha, Sabdartho Sahito Kavyam, and Dandi, Shariram Tavati Istartha Vyavachinna Padavali. So, in this way, he takes two previous thinkers inside a single word, that is Sabda. Now, let us think over another angle of this word Sabda. The very word Sabda is defined and accepted by all as a cluster of letters having meaning. So whenever there is a word, there must be meaning. Without a meaning, a word is not a word, just a simple, unmindful, wild cluster of letters. That is not word. Unless there is a meaning, a word is not word. Sabda is not sabda. If that is the case, why should he use again artha, Ramani artha? Artha was not necessary. Sabda kavyam, because sabda includes artha inside it. But no, he has to differentiate because he has learnt it from Yatrartho Sabdova. So his previous scholar has differentiated Sabda and Artha and has differentiated two kinds of Dhwani also. Sabda will produce a Dhwani and Artha will also produce a Dhwani. So he wants to differentiate. Although this Artha is a kind of adjective to the word Sabda here, but even then he accepts Artha separately, not inside Sabda. Although we have all accepted that Sabda always includes its word. And not only this, if he doesn't utter the word Artha, then there are many other problems also. Somebody will say, what he says means Sabdaha Kavyam. No, he doesn't say that. Sabdaha Kavyam is not his definition. Why? Because Sabda can include many arthas, many meanings, which are not poetic. A Sabda, suppose words in a science book, it has words. It has also meanings, but those meanings are not poetic. Therefore, he has to present something more than mere meaning, mere artha. And what is that? Ramani artha. Some meanings are beautiful, such as in poetry. Some meanings are not beautiful, such as in science books or geography books. Therefore, in order to ward off all those science words, geographic words, he has used Ramani Artha. Unless they become beautiful, unless a word doesn't express a beautiful meaning, that word cannot connect to poethood or poetryhood or the quality of poetry or the dharma of poetry. Therefore, in order to choose Ramani Arthata, he has to take Artha and with an adjective Ramani. Then Ramanyartha Sabdah Kavyam. This we can say. So, but Artha can also have three meanings: Vachyartha, Lakshyartha, and Vyangyartha. What is about that? You didn't say anything about that. If he uses Ramanyartha, Vachaka Sabdah Kavyam, then Lakshyartha and Vyangyartha will be out of the area of poetry. If he uses Ramanyartha, Lakshaka Sabdah Kavyam, then Vachyartha and Vyangyartha will be outside poetry. And since the Dhwani or Vyangyartha Kavya is best poetry, if he says that Ramanyartha Vyanjaka Sabdah Kavyam, then Vachyartha Kavya and Lakshyartha is also found sometimes in Kavya. They will be non-poetry. Then therefore he didn't take any of the three, neither Vachyartha nor Lakshyartha nor Vyangyartha, to coin his definition. He takes Pratipadaka, not Ramanyartha Vachaka, Lakshaka, or Vyanjaka, but Pratipadaka. Pratipadaka represents all these three. Just as in Meghaduta, the first word, first verse, Kaschid Kanta Viraha Guruna Swadhikarat Pramattah. What is this Swadhikara? He could have said, as it is there in Puranas, that Yaksha was employed for protecting the lotus pond, and he couldn't protect. Airavata and his friends came in the dawn when he was absent. He went away and destroyed the pond. That thing he could have, Kalidasa could have mentioned. But again, somewhere it is being said in another Purana, it is also being said that Yaksha couldn't collect lotuses and present them to Kubera at the right time for his worship of Shiva. So that also he could have presented in his verse. So legends are there, but no legend he took. He simply used Swadhikarat Pramattah. So he failed in his duty. What is the duty? There are many pictures of his duty in different Puranas. Therefore, Kalidasa thought, instead of taking any particular, signifying any particular duty, I have to use such a word which will connote all of them. Therefore, he used Swadhikarat. Similarly, here Pratipadaka can be Vyanjaka, Lakshaka, or can also express Vachyartha, Vachaka. Therefore, Pratipadaka stands for three things. And that is the reason he used Pratipadaka. But again, still our readers have great doubt on the word Sabda. Because when in Kavyadarsa it is being said Padavali, not only Padam. Padam Kavyam is not said, Padavali. So a kind of plurality we are understanding there. So many such words expressing beauty in meaning make a poetry. That kind of thing we can understand. But here he uses the singular word, Sabdah. So here it is a problem which is to be solved by us. And many of us have already solved. I am just repeating. So Sabda can also mean Vakya. And Vakya can also signify Mahavakya. Our Mimamsakas and rhetoricians also accept Ramayana or Mahabharata as a single sentence, and that is called Mahavakya. Similarly, Sabda can also mean Vakya. Why? What is the proof? proof is we have a word Vakyartha Jnana. And but Vakyartha Jnana is accepted by Mimamsakas and Naiyayikas and our poeticians also as Sabda Bodha. So Vakyartha Jnana is Sabda Bodha. Therefore, there is a very inner connection between word and sentence. Even word can mean sentence, and a sentence can also include a whole kavya like Ramayana or as big as Mahabharata. And therefore, we can also understand Sabda as a Vakya. And Vakya is accepted as a definition in the definition of poetry by Viswanatha. Vakyam rasatmakam kavyam. So instead of using the word Vakya, now he uses the word Sabda. And Sabda he uses because he is more influenced by Dandi, Padavali, the user of the phrase Padavali, that we can say, because he is not going to utter the word Rasa. Therefore, he will not take anything from Viswanatha's definition. He is more inclined to Dandi, and instead of saying Padavali, he says Pada. Pada can also mean, Sabda can also mean Sabdatva Jati, where all the words are there. Just as by saying Gotva, we include all cows. Now we can come to the first word, Ramaniyartha. Now he is emboldened by Vamana, who says Saundaryam Alankara. He takes this clue, Saundarya, from Saundarya, to make his word as Ramaniya. Sundara, he could have taken. Sundara Artha Pratipadakaha Sabdaha Kavyam. He could have done it. But he has a tendency to show newness. Just as Vakyam Rasatmakam Kavyam, instead of taking Vakya, he said Sabda. Or instead of saying Padavali, he said Sabda. Similarly, instead of saying Sundara or Saundarya, something like that, he uses the new word Ramaniya. Now, but the root is there in Saundaryam Alankara, Vamanas Kavya Alankara, Sutra Vritti. Now, question arises, when you take a Ramaniya or a Sundara, they also indicate to Rasa. Then why didn't you take Rasa inside your definition? Rasa Pratipadakaha Sabdaha Kavyam, he could have said, but that will be just repetition of Viswanatha. But he also, not only that, he also goes deeper into the problem. Because by using just Rasa Pratipadakaha Sabdaha Kavyam, he will put the scholars and Sahrudayas, Kanuzars into trouble. Because in our total world of Sanskrit poetry, we have many instances where just Uddipana Vibhava also creates Kavya. Whole Rasa need not come. Rasa comes with the conglomeration of three, Vibhava, Anubhava, Vyabhichari. Then that will convert Sthai Bhava into Rasa. But then we can understand, he might be thinking that there are many Uddipana Vibhavas without the help of Vibhava or Anubhava. They also bring up Kavyatva. For example, Drumaha Sapuspaha Salilam Sapadmam Striyaha Sakama Pavanaha Sugandhi Sukha Pradosa Divasascharamya Sarvam Priye Charutarang Basante. Here the description of stimulant is being presented. Uddipana Vibhava is being presented. But the total thing is a very beautiful kavya of Rutu Sanhara. Therefore, if we use rasa, we don't find a particular rasa here. Drumaha, Sapuspaha, Salilam, Sapadmam. So rasa is not there. But Uddipana Vibhava of Sringara rasa is present, which gives the feeling of the completeness of poetry in that verse. Therefore, rasa, the word rasa, will rather restrict many things to be poetry. This verse will not be poetry if rasa pratipadakah sabdah kavyam or bhakyam rasatmakam kavyam is accepted. That is why even though he comes after Viswanatha and he knows bhakyam rasatmakam kavyam, even then he doesn't accept it. Instead of rasa, he uses ramaniya. There can be many examples. अस्त्युत्तरस्याम दिशि देवतात्मा हिमालयो नाम नगाधिराज पूर्वा पर तोइह निधि बघाइह स्थिता पृथिव्या इव मानदंड. Where is the vibhava, anubhava, and vyabhichari here? Here, uddipana vibhava is predominant. Therefore, we cannot just take rasa pratipadaka sabda as kavya. We can also sometimes find that only descriptions of vibhava can also make poetry. Shishupala उभौ यदि व्योम्नि पृथक प्रवाह आकाश गंगा पयस पतेतम तेनोपमीयते तमाल नीला मामुक्त मुक्ताल तमस्य वक्ष. Sri Krishna is being described having a mukta hara dangling on both sides of his chest, and is being conjectured that as if Yamuna river or Ganga is bifurcated and is falling down in two ways. So here the vibhava is being described, and anubhava, there is no scope for anubhava, and there is no scope for uddipana vibhava. Even then it is a beautiful kavya. Therefore, if we take a rasa, then it is a problem. And if you take a ramaniya, then it fits into all these three verses I uttered. Sometimes only guna, kavya guna can also make kavya. Only kavya guna. For example, Saukumariya. Lalita labanga lata parisilana komala malaya sarire madhukara nikara karambita kokila kujjita kunja kutire. So here there is Saukumariya, expression of Saukumariya guna. And it is a beautiful poetry. Here neither vibhava nor anubhava, etc. are not there. Uddipana vibhava can be understood through dhvani. Similarly, prasada guna also. Singularly, prasada guna can make poetry without taking a vibhava, anubhava, vyabhichari bhava or rasa. Sa virahe tava dina madhava manasija visikha bhayadiva bhavana ya toi lina. Therefore, here it is prasada guna because it is being easily understood. And here, therefore, without the complete emanation of rasa, we enjoy, we relish pure poetry. Sometimes just diction, shabda sanjojana, can also bring poetry. Just as Shivatandava Stotra. Jatatavi galajjala prabaha pavila sthale gale velam velam vitang bhujanga tunga mal mangalam damar 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 ninadapat damar vayam chakara chanda tandavam tanotunah shiva shivam. So very Shiva is present and he is being described. This can be said as a vibhava related poetry or diction related poetry. Very beautiful diction. You cannot say that it is showing any kind of rasa, vira rasa or bhayanaka rasa. That you cannot say because vibhava, anubhava, vyabhichari, all three are not present. Therefore, we can say that Jagannath is justified in leaving out the word rasa from his poetry. He is not the only person who did it. There are many others who didn't take the word rasa while defining their poetry. We'll come to that briefly. But then one thing is sure that Bharata uses the word rasa mostly in case of Natya rasa. And several times in his Natya Shastra, he uses the word, phrase, Natya Rasa, Natya Rasa. Rarely he uses Kavya Rasa. But where he uses Kavya Rasa, he has a different kind of understanding. He says that inside a poetry, Padya Kavya also, there is drama. Natyayamana Rasa, he says. So suppose we are reading Raghuvansa, there is a drama going on in our mind on the story of Rama and Sita, or on the story of the clan of Raghu. Therefore, Natyayamano Rasa. So Rasa's connection with drama is closest. Rasa can be understood in Padya Kavyas only through Kavya Gunas and all other things that I said. And many other things also are there. But when Mammata says that the dosa sabdartho saguno sahito analangkruti punah kwapi, their rasa word is not there. That means they wanted to escape from the influence of the word rasa. By the time of Mammata, it has been already understood that everywhere we cannot find rasa. But still we have to save our poetryhood, the state of being poetry inside a poetry. And therefore he wanted to avoid the word rasa. Although till you can say Anandavardhana, rasa was very much clearly there. Although he says that dhwani is rasa, but again he has also rasadhwani. He has accepted rasadhwani. But Mammata doesn't use it. So why he doesn't use? That was a problem with Jagannath. And finally he decided that no, rasa will restrict the area of poetry. There are many, many beautiful expressions where we do not find rasa, but still they are poetry. We feel, we have directly understood that really they are rasa. In this way, we can understand in Ramaniyartha Pratipadakaha Sabdaha Kavyam, the absence of the word rasa has a historical significance. Now we should come to exact history. What is that history? That why rasa was being opposed afterwards. You know, after Bharata, I understand Bharata to be of 5th century BC. Because Bharata doesn't know Ganesha and Ganesha's time is 3rd century BC. And let us give 200 to Bharata. And Bharata doesn't know Ganesha. Nowhere in his writing you will find Ganesha, reference to Ganesha. Vinayakaha in Bahuvachana, Ganaha, Vinayakaha, such things are there. But Ganesha is a singular entity and a deity who was not known to Bharata. When Bharata propagated rasa theory, and principal among rasa is Sringara rasa, as we all know. So virtually he propagated Sringara because he, praying Brahma, he brought down 33 damsels from the heaven and made his drama more attractive, erotically very rich. But this was opposed by the then Vedic Brahmins and Buddhists. Buddhists never accept dance, drama, and music. They think all these three are obstructing elements to their nirvana. So they vehemently opposed Bharata and his rasa concept. Brahmanas thought that this rasa is unnecessarily destroying the power to cultivate land, to be active in various businesses, and in many things. People become dormant at daytime, watching drama whole night. They do not go to cultivation. Kautilya says all this in his Arthashastra. So Kautilya opposes drama and rasa. Kautilya says rasa degrades the society morally. He imposes more fine to a lady who goes to watch drama alone. He orders, he prescribes to thoroughly check, to frisk the drama party coming from other states to their states, because he thinks that these actors and actresses might be spies. So the espionage system of other country might be percolating his own state through drama or dramatic activities. And he also says another strange thing. He says the best thing to attack a country is when the king and his friends, all those lords, etc., pandits, etc., are together in audience to watch a drama. They are watching a drama, and that is the fittest moment to attack. So drama creates weakness in the kingdom, in the administration, in cultivation, and in morality, in ethics of a state. That is the stand of Kautilya. Vatsyayana says that these dance, drama, and singing, all these were flourished in the house of harlots, Ganikalayas. So Bita, etc., come together and they hobnob with girls, and they take different modes of dance, etc., song, etc., and drama, etc., inside a brothel. So you see what is his attitude, even Vatsyayana, who is very much free as far as erotic behavior of human being is concerned. But he says that all these things have really risen up from brothels, from Ganikalayas. So this is not fit for the people who are there in very decent families. So for many, many years, decent people were not sending their boys and girls for uh, acting, for acting. This is the reason. So they were opposing rasa, opposing natya, and hence opposing bharata. That is the reason why gradually tradition left out the word rasa from the body of the definition of poetry. Now, this is the reason why there is a huge difference between Bharata and Bhamaha. A huge historical gap of 1000 years, which we call the dark period in Sanskrit literature. And during that period, why no commentary came up on Bharata? Only towards the 13th century, we find the commentator Abhinavagupta. Why in between so many people came, they didn't speak about rasa. They didn't speak about rasa. Throughout Bhamaha's Kavyalankara, you will not find anything on rasa. Why? A man like Bharata, who wrote a compendium of Natya of 37 chapters, he's being ignored for 1000 years. And after 1000 years, Bhamaha comes and he does not think about rasa. He says that Alankara, virtually he says that Alankara is the main thing in poetry. Gradually, it is being accepted. Artha Alankara Rahita Vidhaveva Saraswati. And therefore, he starts doing an Alankara, and school of Alankara rose up from Bhamaha. Although Bharata should be very, very influential, I doubt that in these 1000 years, there were many commentaries on Bharata which were simply destroyed. burnt down, because the friction between Hinduism and Buddhism is a historical fact. Even in Odisha and Bengal, there are traces of that friction. Many things are destroyed. And similarly, Bharata was being tried to be destroyed by them. But fortunately, the manuscripts found in other places proved that there was a man like Bharata who wrote a huge compendium of drama or dramaturgy, you can say. Now, after 1000, Bhamaha comes and he propagates figure of speech or Alankara Tattva. And why he does so? He does so because Mimamsakas, Vedic Brahmanas, who are basically the followers of Mimamsa, Karmakanda, etc., they think that the relation between word and meaning is nitya. Anything glorifies word and meaning, that should be poetry. Therefore, Alankara took all vitality for being the core of poetry. And when Alankaras, followers of Alankaras, do not accept rasa, it is good for Buddhists. So they also gave support to them. There is Baudhalankara Sutra also. So they also supported this. And here we find a historical period where rasa was being opposed. After many lapse of time, after huge lapse of time, somebody came up and wrote Abhinava Bharati. Otherwise, much less people were trying to do on this rasa theory. And when Alankara is being accepted, both Sabda and Artha, they are also having the prime place in poetry. Therefore, Bhama says Sabdarthu Sahitu Kavyam. That is the real mystery. And Vedic people didn't say much on the definition of poetry. Rather, they believe that poetry is nothing but a product produced by poet. So they tried to define poet. They defined poet, and poetry is his product. So what do they say? Rigveda says, Suparnang vipra kavayo vachobhi ekam santam bahudha kalpayanti. So a bird is perched, a bird is sitting on a branch. They say if a man describes that bird variously, so variously that listeners are enraptured, enchanted, then that man is poetry. So the capacity to describe is there in describing single thing variously. And this man is poet, and his product is poetry. That is what they say. In fact, for many years also, the capacity to describe was the root in poetry. Nodita kavita loke yavat jata navarnana, it is being said. As long as there was no description, there was no poetry. That is being believed afterwards. And this is the reason why Panditraj used Ramaniyartha in the place of rasa. Otherwise, he could have used the word rasa. Because he is very confident that if Saundaryam Alankara, then I can easily take that Saundarya, but I will not exactly take Saundarya, but Ramaniyartha. And moreover, this Ramaniyatva has also root in Anandavardhana, in Dhunyaloka, where it is being said, Sahrudaya Hrudayalhadi Sabdartha Mayatvam Kavyatvam. So Alhada should be there. And in Ramaniyartha, definitely Alhada is there. Who's Alhada? Sahrudaya Alhada. The poetic delight of a converser should be there. And that Alhada concept has been taken in the word Ramaniyartha. In this way, as we find that a long history of Kavya, Sabda, Artha and Saundarya or Rasa had influenced deeply Pandit Raj Jagannath when he went out to coin a new definition of poetry. In fact, according to me, I do not find real newness in it because each and every word has its roots in other thinkers of Indian poetry, other rhetoricians, and even in Veda. Therefore, I presume that he is deeply influenced by a tradition of poetry that runs from Veda to Viswanatha. Thank you very much. Vande Sanskrita Mataram.
So
I
Brajit,
hope I was audible all through.
yes, yes, sir,
Yes, sir.
definitely.
No
So
problem.
Brajit,
हाँ हाँ आचार्य प्रवराणां मिश्रवर्जानां वक्तव्य विषये अस्मद् इव छात्रतुल्यानां किमपि वक्तव्यं नास्ति केवलम् एतदेव वक्तव्यं यत् प्रोफेसर मिश्रस्य वक्तव्यम् अतीव उच्चकोटिकम् अपि च अलङ्कारशास्त्रे तस्य कृतभूरि परिश्रमस्य परिचायकम् एतद् वक्तव्यम् एतद् निश्चप्रचं शक्यवचम् वक्ता प्रोफेसर अरुण रंजन मिश्र स्वयमेव कश्चन उत्तराधुनिक कवि इति कृत्वा काव्ये कथं कारं सौन्दर्यस्य रसस्य उपयोग स्यात् इति एव स एव प्रमाणम् इति विषये स एव प्रमाणम् यद्भवतु नाम मिश्रवर्जेभ्य शतस्य कर्म व्यस्ततायां सत्यामपि मिश्रवर्जेभ्य मिश्रवर्याः समयम् अस्मभ्यं दत्तवन्तः इति कृत्वा तेभ्यः धन्यवादाः प्रणवादिकं व्यहरामि आदौ एतदेव मत्पक्षत एव वक्तव्यं यत् वैश्विक संस्कृतमञ्चः भारतवर्षस्य सर्वेषु राज्येषु निरन्तरं संस्कृतस्य प्रचाराय प्रसाराय च न केवलं भारतवर्षस्य राज्येषु आन्तर्जातिके स्तरे अपि नैकेषु देशेषु निरन्तरं संस्कृतस्य प्रचाराय प्रसाराय च कार्यं कुर्वन् अस्ति किन्तु इतः पूर्वं पश्चिमबङ्गस्य उत्तरप्रान्ते अस्य मञ्चस्य कापि शाखा नासीत् इति कृत्वा राजेश कुमार मिश्रस्य उद्योगेन आनुकूल्येन च अस्मात् दिनात् प्रभृति एव उत्तरबङ्गप्रान्तस्य कार्यारम्भ अभूत् एव इति कृत्वा कार्तज्ञं ज्ञाप्यते राजेशवर्याय अपि च यदि कोऽपि केषामपि प्रश्नादिकं स्यात् तर्हि मिश्रवर्येभ्यः तत् कर्तुं पारयन्ति ते कृपया यदि कोऽपि केषामपि प्रश्नः स्यात् तर्हि कृपया कुर्वन्तु
अत्यन्तं सरलम् आसीत् मम वक्तव्यम् अतः
आम्
सन्देहो नास्त्येव कुत्रापि सन्देहो नास्त्येव इति मन्ये
एवं मन्ये,
सर्वे
एवम्,
संशयच्छिन्ना एव
अस्तु 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 तर्हि अत्रैव
तत्
समापयामः
अस्तु अस्तु तत्र राजेशवर्य यदि भवतः कोऽपि वक्तव्यं स्यात्
न न
कृपया कथयन्तु अपि च
नास्ति नास्ति
अनुष्ठानस्य एव समापनं
धन्यवाद
कुर्वन्तु
धन्यवाद धन्यवाद के द्वारा इसको समाप्त किया जाए गुरु जी के आदेश से
ओह ठीक
तत्र अत्र उपस्थितेभ्यः छात्रेभ्यः कार्यकारिभ्यः सहयोगिभ्यः सर्वेभ्यः तत्र वैश्विक संस्कृत मंचस्य उत्तरबङ्गप्रान्तस्य पक्षतः धन्यवादाः हार्दिकीं प्रणामततिं च व्याहरामि सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःख भाग् भवेत् इति कृत्वा
सर्वेभ्यो
अत्रैव
नमः।
विरमामि। नमो नमः।
नमः।
आदरणीय प्रणाम गुरुजी।